Yeah, my mom told me a lot of things as a kid that kind of stuck with me. First, I was terrified, like absolutely terrified of being possessed by a demon. Completely terrified. I watched The Conjuring last night.
Yeah, you said so. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm even more like, oh, I don't want to be like, I gotta protect myself from, being possessed by a demon. I was also scared of stigmata because I thought I was special and God was gonna choose me. It's like, why would God choose you to do something that's so, terrible? I was also scared that, she would tell me about when the whatever Jesus comes and he takes the good peoples to heavens and yeah, the rapture.
I was terrified of the rapture as a child.
Okay.
I swear I would wake up in the middle of the night. Was that God horn thing they're talking about?
You see, but
The rapture?
I was scared.
I'm not going anywhere.
I was scared to be left behind, but a few people are supposed to be left behind so they could tell the rest of the world what's going on. Like, the good people. It's like, I'm going to be one of the good people that have to tell people what's going on.
You're going to be one of the good people.
Also, what did she tell me? She told me never to live in a trailer because trailers attract tornadoes.
What I have is, whenever I was a small child, I would see the Toys R Us and be like, oh, I want to go to Toys R Us, look at toys, as kids do. But I was told that Toys R Us is a special store. That if you go in there, you have to purchase something, and we can't do that. So no, we can't even go look. Like, I don't want anything, I just want to go. Then there was, at restaurants, I guess my mom didn't want me to drink sugary sodas. I showed her, I'm an adult, do what I want. Anyway, I was told that water and iced tea had free refills, but the soda did not, so we weren't allowed to buy soda at restaurants.
Okay, speaking about my mom, how I tell you I had, like, a mom that was trying to be a mom for a while, and then the other mom, and it went back and forth and back and forth. So there's lots of times I didn't live with my mom. When I was little, her and my dad were together till I was, like, 4, and I have all these memories of waiting for her to come home. And I'd sit in front of a window and look at all the headlights that came by, getting so excited. Sometimes she didn't come home. Sometimes I would go to school and the babysitter would pick me up. And she wouldn't show up for days. And I'd do the same thing. Because that's what she did. And one time, one of my asshole babysitters didn't tell me that she called. And I was there for like 4 days. And my friend came and said, I'm not supposed to tell you, but your mom called. She's alive and she's okay.
She's alive.
Also, something funny is when my mom went to prison the first time.
Alright, that was funny, yeah, the first time.
When my mom went to prison the first time, me and my brother was going through, she kept all the letters that we wrote her. And one of them that my brother wrote her was a picture that he drew. And it was him crying and my mom being taken away in a police car. And that's what he sent her while she was in prison. Now she was so desperate to get me to write her that she would send me self-addressed stamped envelopes with paper.
Your mom was like a bill collector.
Yeah, and so one time, my stepmother, the time when my stepmother wasn't in jail, because she went in jail often, she saw it, she thought, oh, okay, this must be, for her mom, so she sealed it, and she put it in the mailbox. My mom was in prison, got some mail, was like, I got mail from my daughter, and it was just a blank page.
What a bitch.
I know. There was a time that my mom was in prison, my dad went to jail, and my stepmom was in prison. All at the same time. And the fucked up thing about my dad going to jail is he knew he was going to jail. He knew he was going to jail, and he didn't fucking tell us till the day before. And he didn't know what to do because he was fucking, I don't know, drunk. So he was at the ice house 2 days before he went to jail, and he asked the barmaid, hey, you want to come live at my house for a few months and watch my kids? I gotta go to jail. We found out like 2 days before. Maybe even that night.
Watch my kids, I gotta go to jail.
Yeah. Anyways, so the first night was really fucked up. I got hit with a chair in the head, and I was like, that was my first impression of this woman. And she took me somewhere, and a man threw a fucking chair at my head. And I had a huge, like, bump or whatever. But, so, she was there. It was a huge house. There was plenty of room for her. But when my dad got out of jail, he kicked her out. Like, just bam, kicked her out. Why? And he said, like, just to anybody, she was too ugly to fuck.
I mean, right on. Got reasons.
Yeah.
Male standards.
That was my dad. And when I was reading letters that were written to my mom, my grandmother, she was kind of like my sanctuary. She'd come pick me up every now and then wherever the fuck I was living. And so she would write my mom and say how the kids were doing. And I was reading her letters one time. I was like, that lying fucking bitch. I was like, she would tell my mom that I was doing good in school and this. She didn't know, I guess. She knew that I was being a fucking hood rat, running around the goddamn street, barefooted, like, you know, barely dressed, just running and getting into trouble. And was I making good grades in school? Hell no, if I went to school at all. But it's like, she's doing good, making good grades, she's doing really good. And
try not to stress your mom out, whatever, you know.
No, and there was one time she made me visit her, and my mom, like, got on to me about something, like, because she did find out about something I did. And she's like, we're in the visiting room in the prison, and she's trying to mother me. And I'm like, fuck you. You can't get on to me in prison. That's just, you can't do that. It was just like when she got out of prison, or the second or third time she was out of jail. She may have been in jail this time. And it was funny because she was on an ankle monitor. And you know this story.
I remember this one.
Yeah, I snuck out one night because this was one of the times. Okay, back a little bit. Where I was living, I got taken away by CPS. And I was taken from CPS, and I was put into temporary custody of my grandmother and was going to be put in full custody of my mother when she got out of jail. I was out all night one night, and, you know, I didn't answer my pager. I didn't answer my pager.
Wow, I didn't know you were doing that good.
Yeah, I had a pager.
Dang.
And I didn't come home till like 4 in the morning. I walked home. And of course, she was outside trying to parent me, which when you have a parent that's been in and out of prison, in and out of jail, and would disappear months at a time, it's really hard to take them seriously when they're trying to discipline you. So I just stood at the point that I knew she could not go across because of her ankle bracelet, and just let her yell at me. I just stood there. There's nothing she could do. She couldn't pass the barrier.